Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first week of Anatomy and Physiology. I'm Dr. Piscopo, and I'm going to be your instructor this semester. Because we're in an asynchronous class, I'm going to be posting a short message for you at the start of each week this semester. I call these Monday Minutes. You'll be able to find these videos in our regular playlist in YouTube. And these videos are just designed to give you a little extra information about something that's going on that week or something that will help you as you move forward in the course. For today's Monday Minutes, I'm going to be talking about the best and most effective way that I know to watch lecture videos in this class and take notes. What you're looking at here on your screen is our home page on our Canvas course. Remember, there are two really important links on this home page that you'll be accessing again and again through the semester. The first one is the syllabus and schedule, and the second one is the link to our playlist on YouTube. Our playlist contains recordings of each of the lectures that you're required to view this semester, including this one that's queued up, Introduction to Anatomy and Physiology. Notice that the lecture has been broken into 5 shorter lectures. Each one is numbered, number 1 of 5, 2 of 5, 3 of 5, and so on. This first part is about 15 minutes long, the second one about 10, 14 minutes, 22 minutes, and 12 minutes. So altogether, this lecture that you'll be watching this week comes in at about an hour and 15 minutes. So as you watch each part of the lecture this week, you're going to want to take a good set of notes for yourself. One of the nice things about having narrated lecture videos is that you can watch this lecture at your own pace. In other words, you can stop and start the lecture whenever you need to. If you're having trouble with a particular slide, if you're not able to write down everything you need to before the next slide appears, simply pause the video, catch yourself up, and then start it again. Here I've clicked on the first part of the lecture. I want to show you another feature that you may or may not be familiar with in YouTube. If you go into the settings here, one of the things that you're able to do is slow down or speed up the lecture video. So you may find that the pace of the lecture is perfectly fine for you as you take notes, but you can also increase the pace if you want the lecture video to move forward a little more quickly. Take a few moments this week and play around with this. See if you prefer the normal speed or perhaps 1.25 or even 1.5. Everyone's tastes are a little bit different. Once you start watching the video at your pace, you're going to notice that the slides are fairly complete. Basically, what I provide on each slide is a bulleted list of the concepts that I'm talking about. You can see, for example, some items that are shown in red. These are things that I particularly want you to pay attention to. You'll notice that sometimes I have things written in bold type. That's also to catch your eye. But basically, you've got a lot of the information that you need right on the slide. Do yourself a favor while you're taking notes. Don't try to write down everything that you see on the slide. Remember, you have a copy of these slides on Canvas available to you. So instead of writing down every single thing that you see on the slide, instead, just write down the additional information that I'm giving you as I narrate the lecture. keep track of which slide you're on during the lecture. So slide number 1, take down a few notes of the extra things that I'm saying. Slide 2, take down those notes. Slide 3, take down those notes, and so on and so on. By the end of the lecture, you should have a series of notes for the slides that were covered in that part of the lecture. Now, I want you to do something with your notes. I'm back on our home page in Canvas, and I'm going to click where it says Modules. Scroll down to the module for week 1 and locate this document, Topic Concentration Guide for Lecture Exam 1. This is essentially your study guide for the first lecture exam. Now what I want you to do is download this document to your computer and open it up. This document contains an outline, a skeletal outline of the lectures that are going to be included on the first lecture exam and the most important concepts that you need to learn. So you can see for the first lecture, Introduction to Anatomy and Physiology, I have a bulleted list of all the things that you're responsible for learning. If we scroll down further, you'll see that it also includes the second lecture, which is called Biochemistry, and the third lecture, which is called Cell Structure and Function. The key thing to know about the Topic Concentration Guide is that it's only an outline. It's not complete. What you have to do is customize it using the lecture slides and your notes. So, once you have finished the first video, go ahead and open up the slides from Canvas and keep your notes by your side. Go through the Topic Concentration Guide and fill it in. Here's the first slide from the lecture. It's just a title slide. And the second slide is just a list of how we break down the topic in the lecture. Once we get to slide number 3, though, we have some important information. You can see that we talk about what anatomy is, what physiology is, and how those two sciences are tightly connected to each other. If we go back to the Topic Concentration Guide, the very first 2 things say define anatomy, define physiology. These are things that you're going to have to do on the exam, or at least be prepared to do on the exam. Now, once you have this document downloaded to your computer, you can write on it. Go ahead and fill it in. Anatomy is the study of the structure of the human body. Physiology, in comparison, is the study of how the body functions. I'm going to go ahead and make some space here to add some more information, because the other thing that we talk about in the lecture is how these two sciences are always taught together because of how closely connected they are. I'm going to add in some additional information into my Topic Concentration Guide to remind myself that A and P are always taught together, because we cannot understand the structure of the body without also understanding how it functions. These two sciences are tightly connected to each other. Remember, anytime that you add information into your personal Topic Concentration Guide, you have to save it to your computer. Don't forget that step. I always have at least one student each semester who works really hard to put together a customized study guide for themselves and then forgets to save it to their personal computer. The whole trick to keeping this topic concentration guide up to date is to make sure that you do it as you go. Watch the video, take notes, then immediately go to the topic concentration guide and fill it in using the slides and your notes. Make sure that you've included all of the information that I provide for you during the lecture. Using your notes and the slides, go through the first part of the topic concentration guide and fill it in. Add as much detail as you were given in the lecture. The idea is this. After you watch these narrated lecture videos and you take a good detailed set of notes for yourself, you're going to use the slides and your notes to create your own topic concentration guide. I give you the skeleton outline and you fill it in. If you do this and save it to your computer, don't forget that step. If you do this and save it, you now have the one thing that you will need to study for the exam, the topic concentration guide. You will have transferred the notes that you took during the video lecture onto the topic concentration guide. And all you'll need to do to prepare for the lecture is memorize what you've written down on the topic concentration guide. I recommend that you watch each video and take notes, and then immediately transfer that information into your personalized topic concentration guide. Then watch the second part of the lecture and do the same thing. Then watch the third part and do the same thing. Remember, there are 5 individual videos in the first lecture, Introduction to Anatomy and Physiology. If you can do this, if you can follow this system, each time you watch a lecture video on YouTube, you are going to be in very good shape for preparing yourself for the exam. You won't have to go back through any videos. You won't have to memorize page after page after page of your handwritten notes. All you'll have to do is memorize the information on the topic concentration guide. Make sense? It does take a little extra time to do this each week. But trust me when I say it will save you a lot of time later on when you're trying to prepare for the exam. It's going to be a lot easier for you to memorize a couple of pages of information as opposed to pages and pages and pages of your own handwritten notes. I hope that you'll give it a try, at least for the first lecture, and see how it goes. Now, before I let you go, there's one more thing I want to point out to you in the topic concentration guide. Notice that occasionally you're going to see information that is highlighted in yellow and in red type. This particular part right here describes the stimulus response pathway that we discuss in the first lecture. This pathway is a step-by-step physiological mechanism. Whenever I go through a physiologic mechanism with you, I want you to memorize it step by step. I guarantee you that you will see the stimulus response pathway on the exam that you take for me. In fact, this pathway is going to show up again and again and again throughout the semester as we move through different topics. That's how important it is. So the reason this is highlighted like this is because this is a mechanism, and this is something that you need to be able to describe step by step in lots of detail. There's one other mechanism that we cover in this first lecture, and that's the mechanism of feedback. This is a description of that process, again, listed as a physiologic mechanism that you're going to need to learn step by step. Well, that does it for this week's Monday Minutes. If you have any questions about anything that I've talked about today, please go ahead and send me a message using the inbox tool in Canvas. Remember, in this course, if you need to get in touch with me, the best way to do it is not through your regular email, but rather by using the inbox tool in Canvas.